Hey Bookish Babes, and welcome to day 2 of the 12 days of Bookmas. For those that are new around here, my name is Rainy. I read all types of books, primarily fantasy romance, so if you're interested in that, stick around. Today's video is very exciting because I have a lofty goal of finishing series, friends, but am I actually setting myself up well to do so? I have 1,000,001 series, okay? I have series where I have collected books that I haven't even started the series yet. I have series where I'm in the middle of the series and I'm just not doing anything about it. I have series that I've DNF'd that I haven't gotten rid of off my shelf yet, okay? I have a lot of series. So what today's video is going to be is we are going to look at my spreadsheet and only talk about series that I'm actively in the middle of, and that'll also let me decide, am I going to DNF series? Am I going to continue on with series? And then at the end of this video, I'm going to ask you to recommend me in my comment section which of these series I should prioritize sooner than later, because next year I'm going to knock some series off my stats list, okay? So let's dive into looking at my spreadsheet. Okay, friends, filming this on StreamYard because I don't know why I haven't been doing that because it's for free. But let's pop on my screen of my series and we are going to dig through this, okay? So we're only going to talk about series that are currently reading, which are unread. And we're going to talk about where I'm at in the series briefly, how it's going, you know, all the things, but we're not going to look at any of the yellows or blues or purples, or yellows or blues or greens. Yellows means that I own it or at least own some part of the series and I haven't even started it yet. Blue means that I have completely finished it or I am up to date with it. And then gray means I have DNF'd it. And then the different colors for the books within the series are the years that I read them. Like 2024 is for purple, and I actually need to make something for 2025. So I need to get ready to make a new color for that. Probably a dark pink is probably what's going to happen. Okay, so let's dive right in with ACOTAR. That is the first one. I am currently on ACOWAR in that one. I am liking it. I'm not live, laugh, loving it. I think I probably read it way too late after I've read a bunch of romantices that I find a lot better than that. So that's just kind of where I'm sitting with it, but I will finish it this year, but I'm trying to finish Throne of Glass first. I'm about to do the tandem read for that one. Then we move on to A Gothic Shade of Romance, the duology by Karina Halley, which is Hollow and Legend, which is a duology about the legend of Sleepy Hollow. And I absolutely loved Hollow. It's a 5-star. It's one of my favorite books that I reflected on, I think, last year. And I had a really good time with this book. I need to move on to Legend. In fact, I'm thinking that I want to knock off a bunch of these duologies as I keep going, but I really loved this, and I don't know why it's taken me so long. I wanted to read the second one during this Halloween, but it didn't happen. So here's to next Halloween, hopefully. Then we move on to The Artifacts of Oranos by Nisha J. Tooley, which is the Trial of the Sun Queen one, and I read that for Battle of the Booktubers this year because it was recommended by Kirsten, and I actually had a fantastic time with that. Gave it 4.5 stars. It was very fun, and I'm actually about to be reading Rule of the Aurora King to then read Fate of the Sun King, which is the book that was nominated for Goodreads Romantasy, and then the 4th book just came out, which actually I need to look up the name of it because I don't remember what it is, but I'll just put untitled for now. But yes, I'm actually going to be completing this one, so I'm good for that. And then Assistant to the Villain. I am also about to read Apprentice to the Villain. I hated Assistant to the Villain, and I am going to allow myself to DNF Apprentice to the Villain, but I'm still going to try it. So that one at least is in progress. And we have Beast of the Briar by Elizabeth Helen, which is the Bonded by Thorns series. I read that for my book club, Tortured Readers Book Club, 2 months ago. Absolutely loved it. I am obsessed with it. I need to move on to the next books in the series. I know I'm going to like them, and I know there's going to be a 5th book, so I might as well add that now. Then we get to Bewitched by Laura Thalassa, and I read Bewitched last year, and it was one of my favorite books of the year, and I need to get to Bespelled. I have it on my shelf. I pre-ordered it. I haven't touched it. Tell me why. I don't really know, but I really enjoyed it. Guys, why am I not finishing series that I am really enjoying? We have the Blood and Ash series by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I read from Blood and Ash last year and reread it this year. I just finished A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire. I'm in the middle of Crown of Gilded Bones, and then I am going to finish this series out next year so that I can be caught up for when the Primal of Blood comes out, because I'm sure that's going to be on the Goodreads Romantasy list for 2025, so I do want to be caught up on that. And then we get to Blood Grace by Vila Roth. I read the prequel novella called Blood Price, and I had a fabulous time with that book. I read it during one of Brittany's readathons and absolutely loved it. I'm going to be buddy reading Blood Mercy, I think in January with Brittany, because I gave that to her as one of the every romantasy ones because I figured if she liked it, I would hopefully like it. So we are going to be reading that together. So I will be making progress in that series. Then we have Boys of Tom and by Chloe Walsh. And I put currently reading because I am in the middle of this technically on Goodreads, but I'm going to be restarting it because I don't remember a single thing that happened in it. So I guess we could put that as have not started yet technically because yeah, I'm just not there yet. Then we have Bright Falls by Ashley Herring Blake. I loved Delilah Green Doesn't Care. It was in my top 10 the year that I read it. I really liked Astrid Parker Doesn't Fail. And I need to finish Iris Kelly Doesn't Date. I just haven't been in the mood to like go and buy that. And if it's on KU, I will get it. Otherwise, I am going to have to buy it. And I don't know. Iris has never been my favorite. So I just don't know if I'm going to like that one. But I should finish out the series, because I really liked the first two. And we have the Brutal Birthright series by Sophie Lark. I read Brutal Prince, Stolen Heir, and Savage Lover all in the same year and haven't touched it in 2 years. I do love a good mafia dark romance. I just haven't been in my dark romance era. I've been a little hesitant on reading Bloody Heart because it has an accidental pregnancy trope, which is not my favorite, but I do need to get to it at some point. Then let's just talk about this. I did finish Carval, so that's exciting. But then we're on to Cat and Gamer. I read volume 1, really enjoyed it. I'm not going to say much more about the mangas. There's a million of them. I do like this little manga cat series, so. Then we're on Celestials of Arcadia by K.L. DeVore. That's The Touch of Golden Madness, which I loved that book. It's going to be in my top 10 of the year. And I am currently reading the prequel, The Embrace of Steel and Shadows, and having a fabulous time with that as well. Yes, it is an arc I was supposed to have read a week ago, but you know what? No one's going to police me for that. Moving on to the Cerulean Chronicles by TJ Klune. I read The House on the Cerulean Sea and really, really loved it. That was the first cozy fantasy that I absolutely loved. I did pre-order Somewhere Beyond the Sea, and no, I have not read it yet. I just haven't been in the mood to read it, but I know I'm going to love it because I just loved that series so much, and The Found Family is everything to me. I just haven't prioritized it yet. And we're moving on down to Chestnut Springs. I've read Flawless, and Heartless is one of my favorite books. Reckless is one of my favorite books. I kind of skipped over Powerless because I wasn't necessarily enjoying it and hearing good things about it, but I will finish it, and I will finish Hopeless. I do have special editions of this series, so I really should prioritize it, especially because Fairy Loot is about to come out with their editions, and then I'm going to have 4 copies of this series. We have Coven of Bones by Harper L. Woods, which includes The Coven and The Curse. I read The Coven 2 years ago, and I really, really, really liked it. I think it was in my top books of that year, and I just got the special editions from Barnes & Noble of this release series, and Fairy Loot just came out with theirs, and it was really pretty. So, like, I just need to finish out this duology. Do you see a pattern here? Then we have Crescent City by Sarah J. Maas, and I am going to be finishing this by the time that December is over, because I'm about to start House of Sky and Breath. I have to read House of Flame and Shadow for Goodreads or Mitzi, so don't you worry your little self. Grounds of Nyaxia, I am almost caught up with. I have not read Slaying the Vampire Conqueror. I know. I'm going to finish that, but I'm obsessed with this series. So, like, don't you worry about this one. Then we have Daughter of the Pirate King, which I actually really, really enjoyed when I read it. I was very surprised by it. I think I gave it a 4 or 4.5 star. So I just need to continue on with the series. It was a cute little YA. It wasn't too serious, but I had a lot of fun. And the banter was bantering on this one. And then, yes, I DNF'd The DNA Duo by Christina Lauren. It just wasn't for me. I am reading Donuts Under a Crescent Moon, which is a manga. It's very cute and sapphic. I have not finished the Dreamland Billionaire series. I need to finish Final Offer. Yeah, I know. Don't judge me. I'll finish it one day. I'm not in my contemporary romance era. And then I have Elements of Cadence by Rebecca Ross, which is the River Enchanted series. I absolutely loved River Enchanted when I read it for boy bands earlier this year. I have not finished A Fire Endless, more so because I have the Illumicrate edition of A River Enchanted. It was the first book that I got when I subscribed. However, the second book is very hard to find for people selling less than $300. It's crazy. And I just haven't wanted to read it because my series won't match, but like it's on KU. I just need to suck it up and finish it. Plus, I need to finish it before April for our fantasy bingo because I have to read a book with a bard in it. And that's the only book I know that has a bard in it. And then, yes, I DNF'd Emily Wilde. Are we surprised? And I finished, or I'm up to date with Fae and Alchemy, which is Quicksilver. And then I'm currently reading the fairy tale retellings by Scarlett St. Clair. I read Mountains Made of Glass for a readathon of Brittany's. Absolutely loved it. I'm actually going to be buddy reading the second one, Apples Dipped in Gold, with Brittany later this month. So that one will be accounted for. And we get to Fate and Flame by K.A. Tucker. The first book is A Fate of Wrath and Flame. I read this with Katie earlier in the year and loved it. And I don't know why I haven't continued on because I own book 2. And like we keep saying that we're going to read book 2 and we just haven't gotten to it. So maybe this video will make me get to it. I am not actually up to date anymore with Finley Donovan. I am technically, if you don't count the arc that I got, and yes, I do have an arc for the new book and I just haven't read it yet. I am still really enjoying this series. I don't know. It's just a fun, cozy, no thoughts, head empty type of book series, okay? We get to Gods and Monsters by Amber V. Nicole, which is the book of Azriel. I loved that book. That's going to be on my top books of the year. I do own the second book. I know the third book has come out and I think it's called The Dawn of the Cursed Queen. I'm very excited for this series, so I do need to continue on. Yeah, I see the Greenbone Saga on here. I've been avoiding Jade Legacy for 2 years now. I really need to stop avoiding it because do I even remember what happened in Jade City and Jade War? No. Am I going to need to get a recap? Yes. Do I need to just finish out this very epic fantasy series that is one of my favorite fantasy series? Yes, I do. Okay, moving on to Heartstopper. Yes, I've only read volumes 1 and 2. I just haven't wanted the magic to end. I own volumes 3 and volume 4. I need to borrow or get volume 5. I know. I'll get to it at some point. Then we have Happiness volume 1, which I didn't particularly love this as much as I was expecting to. It was like a vampire manga and it was just all right. So honestly, I think I've decided that I'm going to DNF this. In fact, I just decided right now. So let me highlight the rest of these bad boys. And yeah, I'm done with that one. I don't really want to finish that one. Harlot's Bay, I'm caught up on. That's Olivia Dade's At First Bite. The second one hasn't come out yet. Harry Potter, I finished. Duh. E. McCoy, I really did like, so I will continue on with that manga. Immortal Dark, I did DNF. The first one was whatever. I don't really want to continue on. Immortal Reveries, which is Anessa Rosanen, Until the Stars Fall. The second one hasn't come out yet, so I am caught up on that. Ends With Us, I never read It Starts With Us. And honestly, I don't know if I'm going to. I probably should DNF it, but like, I don't know. I kind of do want to finish it and see what it's all about. Yes, Jurassic Park is on here. Yes, that is the longest book standing on my current Goodreads. I'm going to finish it in December. Okay? Don't judge me. Don't judge me. Kingdom of Lies by Stacia Stark. I only have one more book left, although it's like 700 pages. I really hated book 3. I did not like where they took it with the relationship, so I'm kind of hesitant on reading book 4, but I just want to finish the series out, especially because her next series that is coming out, I believe, is a spinoff with one of the main characters or side characters from this one, so like I do want to see this through. Kingdom of the Wicked I DNF'd. It was not good. Kindred Curse Saga, I am going to be catching up and reading Heat of the Everflame within the next week and a half because I'm doing an author interview with Penn Cole and Vanessa, not this week, but I think next week, so I kind of need to get on it. And then Kings of Sin by Anna Huang, I need to read King of Sloth. That's the only one that is out currently, like, that I haven't read yet, and I really have been enjoying them all. Like, they've all been 4 or 5 stars. Like, I do like the series. I like how Anna Huang writes, at least this series. I didn't like the Twisted series, but she has grown a lot of an author since then. Talk About a DNF'd, of course, that was not good. Lakefront Billionaires, Do You See a Pattern? I don't finish Lauren Asher. And honestly, I have no interest in continuing with this. I liked it at the time, but I'm just not a contemporary girly anymore, so I'm DNFing. And my friends are probably going to get mad at me for that, but you know what? It's my life. On to Letters of Enchantment. Yes, I do own Ruthless Vows. And yes, it is personally signed to me. And yes, I got actual prints in there for like pre-ordering it from her. And I didn't read it because of the SMP ban or protest. And so I will get to it eventually because I really loved Divine Rivals. Yes, I DNF'd War of the Wilds. That was not a good book. The Losers series by Harley LaRue. I loved the dare. That was just a kinky, smutty time of a novella. So I need to get to Losers Part 1 and Part 2. I'm caught up on Loveless by Hannah Bird. I know I need to finish the Magnolia Parks universe. I just don't want it to be over, and it takes me so long to annotate and highlight. I know, okay? But I will finish it out this year. Mark my words. Maple Hill is a big fat DNF. We all know how much I freaking hate Icebreaker. Mead and Mishap by Kimberly Lemming. I have not DNF'd because I was going to read That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon, but like, I didn't like that series, so I don't need to read it anymore. In fact, it's going to be a good old DNF because I honestly don't need it in my life. Also, that's going to bother me. That's not highlighted. Mind F series I did finish. It was fine. Monk and Robot by Becky Chambers. I didn't love A Psalm for the Wild Built, but honestly, it's a short little duology that I could finish, so I am going to finish it. Moonfall by Sarah A. Parker, I am caught up on because the second book has not come out yet, and I need it to come out so that me and Brittany can buddy read it because we love this series so freaking much. Mortal Instruments by Cassandra Clare is going to be a long journey, okay? I've technically, I think, read the first 2 books, but I don't remember the year that I read City of Ashes. I did start a reread of City of Bones for the Amazing Readathon this year and then stopped, so it's going to be on my Goodreads cleanup. So hopefully I will start my Cassandra Clare journey again then. The Never series by Jessa Hastings, I'm caught up on, although I'm scared of what the next one's going to be and if it's going to be another hate read for me or not, but I will read it because it's from Jessa. Then we have the Never After series by Emily McIntyre. I've only read Hooked. I own all of them. I own special editions of them. I need to get on this, okay? I know I am behind. Neva would be mad at me right now. Then we have Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. I read the first one, really loved it. I have the Fairy Loot special editions behind me. Do you see a recurring pattern? I get special editions before I actually finish the books. Then we have Order and Chaos by Alexis Menard. I read House of Bane and Blood this year, and it was one of my favorite books of the year. I do need to read and continue on with The City of Mirth and Malice. I will get to that, okay? I will get to that. We have Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. Yes, I read the first 2. I own Just for the Summer. I haven't read it yet. We're not going to judge me. Okay, you can kind of judge, but I don't really care. Okay, I kind of care. Peaches and Honey was for my book club, and no, I didn't finish the second book, okay? Is it on my Goodreads cleanup? Yes. Will I finish it by the end of the year? Yes. Then we have Pies Pies Before Guys by Misha Pop, and I actually really liked this book when I read it. It's like a cozy mystery, so I will finish this one at some point, but I couldn't honestly tell you when. Then we have the Ravenhood trilogy by Kate Stewart, which includes Flock, and I loved that. It was like my first YA choose that I really, really enjoyed, and I need to finish it, but it's very, very sad. Then we have Rebel Blue Ranch, which I am actually not caught up on anymore, so I need to put that I'm currently reading that because I have not read Last of Episode. I do own it. I do want to read it. Will I get to it? I really hope so in December, but you know, you never know. Then we have Saga of the Unfated, which I am caught up on and currently for A Fading Blood because the second one hasn't come out yet. Then we have The Salacious Players Club by Sarah Kate. I only read praise, but it was one of my top books of the year when I read it, and I own the rest of them. And what's funny is I didn't get the second one before it went out of print with the original covers, and so I have it in German to match the covers. Yes. That's how crazy I am. Serpent and Dove by DNF. It was a book that I should have enjoyed, but I don't know what didn't work for me. I just don't know. Then we have Shades of Magic by V.E. Schwab. I absolutely ate up book 1. I'm not loving book 2. It will be on my Goodreads cleanup. I hope I will finish it because I did buy the entire book series after book 1. We have Shadows of the Tenebrae Court by Claire Sager. I loved Kiss of Iron and it's one of my god tier diehard books. I need to read A Touch of Poison to be ready for the 3rd book coming out hopefully next year. Then we have The Sinner's Duet by Sophie Lark. I did read There Are No Saints this year and I really enjoyed it, and I don't know why I haven't finished on, like, especially with duologies, like they're so short. It's 2 books. Why am I not finishing? Then we have Spy Family, and I do like this series, okay, but like mangas I don't prioritize. Then we have the Study series by Maria V. Schneider, and while I enjoyed Poison Study, I'm just not interested in continuing on. I do want to continue on with Supernatural Investigation by B.B. Alston because I really liked Amari and the Night Brothers, surprisingly. It was like one of the only middle grades I've ever read, and I really did like it. I DNF'd the Aurelian Cycle. I know, I'm crazy, but Fireborn just wasn't for me. I did finish The Bellinger Sisters by Tessa Bailey. I have not continued on yet with The Bonds That Tie by Jay Bree because Broken Bonds was just all right. Honestly, it's like the most cringe writing I've ever read, and I don't really understand how Jay Bree could write that. And then like The Crown and the Scepter and The Crown of Oaths and Curses. Like I really don't understand there. We have The Bridge Kingdom by Danielle L. Jensen. I did start that series this year, which I don't know why I didn't highlight that I have read that, but I read that this year and it was just all right. It was a 3-star, nothing to sneeze at. We have The Brown Sisters by Talia Hibbert. I did like Get a Life, Chloe Brown. Like, it was just all right, but I've heard that the next book is the best book of the series, so I really need to prioritize that sooner than later. I DNF'd The Crucible by Abigail Owens because the games Gods Play was insufferable. It was not good. Then we have The Edens by Debney Perry. I did read Indigo Ridge, and I liked it. It was my first romantic suspense. I do have a lot of the rest of the series. I need to get onto that. We have The Empyrean by Rebecca Yarros. I have only read Fourth Wing. Yes, that's right. I haven't read Iron Flame yet. I'm fixing that this month so that I'm prepped for Onyx Storm when everyone is reading it in January. Then we have The Everseas by L.J. Andrews. Yes, I have read The Everqueen. I'm in the middle of The Everqueen, and I will catch up to this one. We have The Five Realms by Janessa Wren. I read Air of Sun and Moon for my book club, and it was just all right. I do have an arc of Crown and Sun and Tide, so I do need to finish it, but like it's not a huge priority at the moment. We have The Godfathers of the Night by Nuha Julienne, which she is going to be at Villains and Vixen, so I do want to prioritize this because I really did enjoy The Diavolos Part 1, and it is a mafia romance, so I need to finish it so that I can like meet her and like be excited about it. I DNF'd The Housemaid, obviously, because it's Frida. The Hunger Games, I have not actually finished. I never read The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and I haven't read Haymitch's book yet, obviously, but I did just reread Hunger Games, and that was a freaking time. Then I need to get to The Legends of Desmar because I read Slaying the Shadow Prince, and I had the best freaking time with that book, and I own the rest of the books for Blood and Steel, so what am I doing with my life? Then we have The Mortal Fates by Jay Bree. I read The Scepter and the Sword. I have not read A Crown of Oaths and Curses yet, but I have it, and the audiobook just came out, so I finally can prioritize it. The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, the same person that wrote The Inheritance Games. I really liked book 1 and I own book 2, so like I should continue on. The Night Ends with Fire, I am caught up on currently by KX Song, the Mulan retelling, and it was just all right, but I am interested in seeing the love triangle that's happening. The Powerless Trilogy by Lauren Roberts. I have not read Reckless, and I know The Fearless is also coming out soon, so I need to fix that as well. And then we have The Promised Neverland, which is another manga. I really liked it, but I'm not prioritizing manga. The Raven Cycle, I DNF'd, but I'm actually going to put that back as have not started because I really did like it when I was physically reading it. And then when I switched to audio, I didn't. And my friend had the same problem and then went back to physical, and it's one of her favorite series of all time. So I need to give it a second chance. We have The Ruinous Love Trilogy by Bryn Weaver. I loved Butcher and Blackbird. Haven't heard good things about Leather and Lark, so I'm a little scared, honestly. Finished The Sacred Stones, and it was not a good time. DNF'd The Scorched Throne, which is the Jasad Heir, because I didn't like that book. Shadowbound Queen by Eliza Rain, I just need to finish. The last one is A Court of Serpents and Secrets. They're like 200 pages long. They're very short. They're like short, sweet, smutty, fantasy romance I just need to finish. Same thing with The Shepherd King by Rachel Gillig. I absolutely loved One Dark Window, so why have I not finished Two Twisted Crowns? Why do I have special editions of it? Lord freaking do I know. I did DNF The Solstice Cycle by Tay Rose. That was for my book club as well, and it was just whatever. The Spell Shop I'm caught up on currently. Love that series. The Steminus novellas I did read. The Veiled Kingdom I'm not caught up on yet. I just finished The Veiled Kingdom. I need to read The Hunted Heir. Then we have the Vicious Lost Boys series by Nikki St. Crow, which is like the Never King, the Peter Pan dark retelling. And I liked the first one. It wasn't good, but I had a fun time with it, so I will continue on with that one. And then we have The War of Lost Hearts by Carissa Broadbent. Obviously, I'm going to finish this. I just haven't yet because that's going to take a while for me to annotate and appreciate to its fullest extent. We have Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas, and yes, I am currently reading that with Neva and Kelsey, and I don't know why I don't have the rest of them in here. I know I'm going to be finishing that this year, so I'm not worried about that one. And then Truly Devious, I did DNF. Twilight, I have not read. Midnight Sun, surprisingly. And the Brie Tanner one and the Life and Death one, which is them reimagined, Bella as a boy and Edward as a girl. I'm kind of hesitant on that one. We have the Twisted series by Anna Huang, and honestly, I really didn't like the book one, so I'm going to officially say DNF. The only reason I didn't say DNF is because someone gave me for a gift the second one, and so I'm not going to get rid of the second one, but I'm also not going to ever read the rest of this series. Then we have the Under the Mistletoe collection, which I'm currently reading, and I'm not really enjoying any of the books, if we're being honest, but I'm going to finish the last two because they're less than an hour long to listen to. We have Veronica Speedwell by Deanna Rayborn. Why am I reading and collecting this series? I don't freaking know, because it's a historical romance. Don't know, but I'm going to keep doing it. Then we have The Wayward Children, which I'm caught up with to currently. However, the next one comes out in January. We have Wicked Games by Kaylee Smith, which I'm caught up with currently. We have The Wild series by K.A. Tucker. I really enjoyed The Simple Wild when I read it, and I don't know why I haven't continued on with it, but I do need to do that. Then we have the Windy City series by Liz Tomfort. I loved Mile High and The Right Move. I need to catch up on that. I really, really do. I DNF'd the Winter Night series by Catherine Arden. I just didn't like The Bear and the Nightingale. I never finished the Witsex series by Ashley Rostek when all of my friends did, but honestly, I was really, really pregnant with Eloise at the time, so I'm going to take that as the reason why. Yakuza Fiancé I'll finish at some point, but it's a manga series. And then Zodiac Academy I am in the middle of right now. I'm working on my next spoiler-filled vlog for my YouTube channel. And so, there it is. So now we're going to go back to Rainy at the end, and I'm going to tell you how many series I am currently in the middle of, as this spreadsheet says. I'm currently in the middle of 80 series. That is a lot. That is a lot. That is a lot. A lot more than I expected, honestly. Honestly, I don't know what I expected. It's fine. Everything's fine. If you got to the end of this video, let's do a football emoji, because I'm looking at Windy City and I'm thinking of Ryan Shea, which is a wonderful football god. And yeah, let's actually no, he's a basketball god. Put a basketball emoji. Dear God, Rainy, don't you know your sports and your characters? It's fine. Anyway, put a basketball emoji and let me know, out of all of these series that I mentioned that I'm currently in the middle of, are there any that I should prioritize sooner than later? A girl has got to know. Okay? And of course, a wonderful shout out to the residents in my Patreon. I love you so very much. It is a friends themed Patreon. We have a lot of fun times over there. Exclusive videos, extra friends watch alongs, the whole shebang. You can find all the information underneath this video, but I love them all very much. And with that, my friends, I will see you in a video very soon. Bye!